You must be tired of seeing how years fly past in front of you and once again things didn't go to plan. But what if I tell you that once you start detaching, things will not go the way you initially pictured them, but they will work out even better, and it will always be like this if you finally detach from that state of slavery where you live a life acting like a control freak. You know what? People or situations aren't hurting you because at the end of the day, it has been you, the one who put that false image on them, and not them, the ones who hurt you. You got attached to the love they were giving you because you were not giving it to yourself. On this video, I will get deep down into the concept of detachment, and I will explain you exactly why and how you can introduce this concept every single day to your life to start suffering less and less. Detachment means not letting the behaviors of others affect you in a negative way, and I want to believe that that's the way you want to start living your life. Have you ever experienced true love? Have you ever experienced pure love? Because we can be here speaking for hours about what love is and about what love isn't. But let me tell you that detachment is the most real love you could possibly ever experience, hands down. And on this video, you will understand why. Okay, let's start. What is the main difference between someone who is detached to someone who is attached to relationships? I will explain this with a metaphor. So imagine you are walking down a park and you find a beautiful flower. You can stay there and appreciate its beauty, and then you know that if you pass later that day or tomorrow or whenever, you can see that flower and keep on appreciating how amazing it looks like. But now I invite you to imagine a different scenario. Let's say you are walking and you find a beautiful flower, but this time you act in a different way. This time you think, wow, it looks amazing, I will take it with me. So you cut the flower, you grab it and you take it home, you put it in water and you keep it in your bedroom. That beautiful flower will look as great as before in the beginning, but very quickly it will start getting dull and it will shiver. And that happens because it is literally lifeless. You cut it, you took it from its right environment, and now you bring it in a place where it benefits you, but it doesn't benefit the flower. So that's what happens a lot in relationships. And that's the main difference between attached to someone and detached from someone. Attaching is having this sense of ownership. Detachment means feeling this appreciation for things, but not needing to own them. Detachment is love in the absence of fear. Why do we get sad if someone doesn't miss us in our absence? Why do we find it weird that our partner is not jealous? Are we ever going to be in a relationship where we do not depend so much on our partner? Are you willing to take the risk of stop being possessive, dominant, and jealous? Because I will tell you here, attached people will never be ready to lose. Because attached people cannot imagine, cannot conceive a life without its main source of security and pleasure. What defines attachment, it's not the desire, but it's the inability to give up to that desire. Basically, behind every attachment, there is a huge source of fear. And behind that huge source of fear, there is a type of disability. For example, if I'm not able to take care of my own life, I will absolutely hate to be alone. That's why I will attach to any sources of security. Call it a job, call it a partner, call it a family member, or call it a romantic relationship. But what people do not understand is, yes, in that present moment, those those attachments, those sources of security will bring that person tranquility. Yes, that I get. That will be the right medicine at the present moment. But in the future, I absolutely tell you that that attachment will bring very dangerous contraindications. When the pleasure becomes necessary and you cannot stop thinking on him or her, okay, welcome to the world of the relationship addicts. The idea is not to suppress that normal desire that arises from love. The idea is to strengthen that ability to be able to let go when it's time to let go. Detachment isn't indifference, coldness, or a lack of interest. Detachment doesn't mean that you should not feel love for people. Detachment means that you need to develop that ability to start creating healthy relationships with these three premises: independence, no desire for possession, and do not aim for codependency. Codependency means excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner. And that's exactly what we absolutely need to avoid to be able to detach. Some people have this really bad habit of creating illusions of everybody and everything. And then they suffer constantly when those people or those things do not meet their high standards they put in the beginning. And then New Year Eves arrive and these people say, this year I will operate on a different mindset and I will stop selling myself so short. I always shortchange myself for others and I always get the bad end of the deal. This year it will be a whole 180 degrees change. Well, amazing. But I think that's another way to again fall into another illusion. All of a sudden, things will not just change because you just said so. If you don't improve, if you do not change what lives in your subconscious mind, if you don't change your negative habits, if you don't change your negative thoughts, you will keep on seeing again and again the same mediocre results. It's never good luck to have a nice life, a nice partner, a nice job, a nice house, nice kids. Nice things happen for a reason and to very specific people who truly deserve them because their past and present actions as a whole are aligned with the outcomes they receive. Which kind of experiences and ideas people romanticize or create false illusions about? Well, I will give you some examples. I hate my life, I hate my job, but I booked these amazing holidays to this perfect destination and those holidays will be absolutely perfect. They will save the day. I will learn a language in 2 months and that will open so many doors for me and I will be able to do all these great new things. It will be amazing. I can't wait to start studying. This guy I just met will change my life. We have such a strong connection. It's unbelievable. These thoughts are a recipe for failure. Detachment is all about concentrating and focusing on the present, on what's real, on what's true. Illusions are an absolute waste of your time and waste of your life. Let me repeat this phrase I said in the beginning because it's literally as good as gold. People and situations are not hurting you because at the end of the day, it's you, the one who gave them that false image and not them who hurt you. And then some people acknowledge, yes, I create a false illusion about this person. He or she is not what I thought it was going to be. But now I'm in love. So what can I do? I need to stick with this and make it work. So then instead of walking away or accepting the failure, they just stick to that person and they start this journey of transformation when they will try to make this person fit in that illusion they created initially. And that's when the snowball effect starts. This person that you are trying to transform and change becomes into this massive, heavy and slow ball that it gets harder and harder to move along the way. And in that process, you will always lose yourself. I have experience with this. I was in one of those relationships one day until I quit. I remember I was all night long with insomnia. I was nervous. I wasn't myself anymore. And then the day after, I had to wake up and go to work, and my job was I need to give it all at my job. So there were several nights where I was absolutely sleep deprived because of my partner and problems we had. And then something clicked in my head and I felt this guy is taking my sleep away. And I saw it so clear. And then I left him. And soon after I left him, I realized it wasn't him taking my sleep away. It was actually me, the one who was the problem. All my efforts to change that guy were absolutely pointless, were just a waste of energy, time, resources, call it whatever you want to call it, but an absolute waste. Because at the end, I didn't change anything about him, but I changed myself. I abandoned myself. I was simply too busy trying to change someone else because I didn't really wanted to look at myself. And I got myself into this self-destructive, vicious circle. We cannot live without love. No one can live without love. But what we can do is to live with love without enslaving to that love. It's absolutely amazing to have an emotional bonding with someone, but it's not good when that bonding suffocates your partner or it suffocates you. That isn't love. That is pure toxicity. Imagine it's a chill day and you put a scarf around your neck. It feels nice, warm, comfortable, but if for some reason that scarf starts getting tight and tight, it will become uncomfortable. And that happens to relationships sometimes. One day you remove that scarf, you throw it away, and you're like, what the hell I was doing to myself? I don't want this thing ever again. What was I thinking? How is it that I didn't realize before how much I was suffering? Like now I feel so relieved without that. I was trading all this pain for almost no benefit. I finally realized I became sick because I was way too attached to a fantasy I created in my own head about who he should have been, what we should have become. It made me truly ill, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And one day I finally let him go and I went no contact. I almost never talked to him again. And just as me, I'm sure a lot of people go through this. Attachment gets you sick. Another consequence of getting attached to someone is the energy deterioration. Your levels of energy will be depleted. The person who is attached will make a massive use of resources to be able to keep his source of gratification and pleasure around. And in this situation of insecure attachment, we can find two different groups of people. There are the active dependent lovers on one side. People who become jealous, hypervigilant, they experience sudden and explosive anger. They develop obsessive behaviors such as stalking tendencies. The active dependent lover can impart physical aggression, and they can try to call the attention inappropriately, for example, threatening with taking their own lives away. Then on the other side, we have the passive dependent lovers. They are submissive, docile, and extremely obedient. And of course, this is their way to try to avoid abandonment. Both of these groups waste their energy. The active lovers waste their energy because they use it way too much, whereas the passive lovers waste their energy because they do not use it. But in both of these cases, the dependent lovers will do as much as they can to try to keep the pleasure they receive from the person they love. After time, this exclusivity of becoming so much pleasure just from one person becomes into sort of a fanaticism. My partner is everything to me. Happiness gets reduced to just one thing: receiving love from the partner. This is like seeing through life from a tiny little look instead of opening the door and see everything. It's never good, and please believe me on this one, it's never good to receive love and pleasure just from one source. It's a million times better to diversify. Attachment means a person loves someone excessively. Therefore, the focus is put outside. The solution for this unsuccessful, imbalanced relationship is to start putting the focus on ourselves. When you prioritize yourself and you fill up your glass, you learn how to meet your own needs. And that way you can teach others which things you like, which are your boundaries, which doesn't make you happy. But you need to discover it perfectly on your own first. Anxious attachment makes people develop negative behaviors, which almost always includes stalking tendencies. We know these people who checks their partner's phone, computers, or whatever devices they can. These just bring those people nothing but pain and embarrassment. And guess what? In the end, it doesn't change a thing, because what has to happen will always happen. Believe me on this one, those negative behaviors are nothing else than falling deeper and deeper into a self-hatred bottomless hole. Using manifestations to attract someone. Does this work? Is it worth the effort? Well, I haven't tried this myself, but I will tell you something. If you're imagining you're there with this person you like, you're hugging that person, kissing that person, you are just forming an illusion and you are daydreaming. It's just so much better to bring your attention and your focus to now and here, and to work as hard as you can to become the best version of yourself. And then you will attract someone who is aligned to who you are. Sometimes we blindly obsess with people we want, but chances are, most times those people are not what we need. Or maybe they aren't even what we deserve. People running around desperately never reach safe ports. Desperate people do desperate things. Being desperate repels people. Being desperate will never get you what you want in the long term. Yes, you will be able to achieve things, but if you achieve them, they will not last. Manifesting to attract someone you like, it's just fitting an illusion and making that illusion bigger and bigger and bigger and more unrealistic. Life has million up and downs, and when you are manifesting, you are just imagining amazing, great moments when you're just having an amazing experience with that person you want. But you know what? That is ruining you, because that will make you even harder to then start a real relationship in the real world, because you are just getting lost in your thoughts. No one will meet those unrealistic standards, and it's impossible to start a real connection with someone if you are living in a parallel reality. Let go of obsessions and detach. The way to let go of needing someone so badly is to start thinking on yourself more than anything else. Compliment yourself all day in your mind. Tell yourself in words and action over and over again that you are loved, that you are valued, that you are worthy. And that will get you into that I am enough state. Tell yourself that you are seen and heard. Do this as much as you can for weeks and months, and I swear of God that you will start forgetting that person that you were initially so obsessed. Detaching is stepping back and look for things objectively. It means letting go and accept that there's things we cannot change. Detachment means choosing how we will act instead of just reacting. Detachment is stepping away from harmful cravings. Detachment means a deep breath of peace and patience in response to unexpected anger. With detachment, we can develop this ability to see our own problems from the outside, and this way we can find quick and clear solutions for them. We detach from others' choices, knowing that their spiritual work is not for us to do. Detachment means you cannot and you should never control people. Remember, you got attached to the love that they were giving you that you were not giving to yourself. Attachment to others has so much to do with feeling seen or unseen. It's so powerful to create that connection with ourselves, that self-love attitude where we can stop seeking for so much love externally. Never make another person the center of your own world. We have created such a lonely world. We need more humans. We need more real talks. We need more authenticity. Be kind. Radiate positivity. Your turn is coming. If we are in the right mindset, we are all deserving. I have this other video where I explain how to go from self-destructive to self-disciplined. So if you're interested in breaking the cycle of negativity in your life, this video will add a lot of value to you. I promise.